No, yeah, I guess she is blocking the light, actually. Good girl. Okay. Hello, class. What should I say? How should I start this video? Ah! She like yawned and then into biting my finger.
What?
This is the intro. Hi, welcome to the Abuser Survival Guide. Parenting, divorced. Oh, that makes sense actually, but I did it with an ST. Yeah, you know, it's fine. Oh, okay.
Come here. Hi. Oh, no.
Parenting, divorce, and it's just business. It's just business. Oh no, we understand, but it's just business. Oh, you're on your deathbed. It's just business. Anyway, this one's gonna be kind of short and sweet, or however it comes off to you. Could be bitter as fuck, and I don't care. 144. Abuser, when you see stuff, so when you're working with someone or a group of people and it's abuser victim. This is so stupid. I need to redo this, but I'm not going to. When you see it as abuser victim abuser, like two opposites, versus the abuser victim, like comparing the, like, okay, so if you're doing this between two people, you're both looking at their abusive traits at the same time, or what is being accused of being an abusive trait, and then you're also going to do the same thing with the victims. Usually you start off with victim, work your way into abuser, and then you can branch back and forth between abuser, victim, abuser, and abuser, victim. Both are important. Here I have a chart where it's like the event is in the middle. For the abuser, victim, it shows you this perspective of the isolated event or situation, whatever, and the environment that encases it. And the abuser, victim, abuser is a little bit more person on person. So the abuser, victim is going to help you create radical movements like law changes, and abuser, victim, abuser is gonna help support that change, in either getting the law, like in either creating that way for the law, or the follow through, because you could make something a law or a rule and people would be like, fuck that, right? Like, so this is more person on person. So it's like you're looking at the big picture as a whole, but then also seeing each individual as the big picture as a whole. If you are acting within true or pure intentions, majority of the time, no damage is irreversible. Take that lightly if you don't truly know what that means. Do not take it at all if you plan on doing something with malice or revenge or ill intent, because then it won't be true. 442. You never force someone to love you. You can't, that's not how it works. You never force someone to receive something from you. That one, it's easier to force someone to receive something from you than to force them to love you. But usually, if we are in that headspace or that heart space, it's like that's not, it's not, right? Because that's not the correct medicine for them at the time. It's not the right time for that medicine. And there's fine lines between forcing and what that truly means. And it does and can relate to control and manipulation tactics. So there's that. And then we have listening ears and warm hearts. We give out of the kindness of our hearts only what we're okay with losing. 555. So all this does is protect you from overgiving, because you know that you are giving when you feel called, when it makes sense to you. You're not worried about the cost. It's not freaking destroying you or damaging you. Or maybe there's that risk, right? Which is why sometimes after you give, you'll be like, oh, I want it back, or whatever, like this or that, whatever. No matter who, what mentality or capacity or age or consciousness or whatever, okay? Like, just when you give without expecting in return from that specific, like in that specific way, you will always be cared for, because there will always be someone with listening ears and warm hearts for you. Sometimes it's not always like a coming together. Sometimes it is like an unraveling in a kind of way. Our pain and suffering is just as important as everyone else's. So why the fuck did we build a world where it's impossible to show up for each other and survive? Why is everybody saying family first, friends first, aloha culture? And then when there's people in need, I cannot call off work. I cannot call off work. I cannot. I need this money. Nobody can do my job. Oh, this, oh, that. All excuses to try and control people to perform in the way that you want them to, when you're not performing in the way you need to at. Oh. Oh yeah, this Four of Cups. There's gonna be a lot of keiki around you. Tapping into their na'aus and their dream work abilities and all that stuff, their intuitions, connecting with people who have passed on that maybe they've never met. Maybe they've only met once. And it's not fair to just be like, get over it and move on, or this or that, or keep distracted. Like, that's the whole fucking argument with drugs, is like, oh, because it distracts you. But then the same people that are making these arguments are not showing up for these people in the way they need. It's just all their problem. Them. Yeah, and that is their choice. So there's just like, if there's two flip switches, it's like, or like a circuit box, like you're just rearranging those things a little bit, which is comical considering there's no power right now. Please don't take these things too deep in heart if it's gonna make you act in your ego. Because the ego is that fear of like, oh, well, if I don't tell them to do the right thing, they could get hurt, they could get like this or that. And how many times that happens anyway, regardless. Which is the whole, so if you want to rise above karma, if you want to heal the abuser. If you are the abuser, you're trying to heal whatever it is. If you just are afraid of becoming an abuser, which is fucking real, it's taking the time. Like, you gotta take the time. You gotta, like, be curious and investigate, and instigate is popping up into mind, but not in the way that it normally is used. Like, oh, they're a fucking instigator. Like, Jesus Christ. And do you notice how this is, like, not really specific? That's because it is interchangeable. Like, you cannot just be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna judge this one person, but I can judge these people. Or I can judge these people, but they cannot judge me. Like, that's so weird. Like, why are we throwing judgment instead of just building better? Build better. Why are we trying to build freaking why are we not building more schools or daycares or places of learning and community and recreation? Why are we not fusing recreation and work? Why is that? Why is it that, oh no, we care, but then when it comes down to it, do you? Oh, and then there's another page. There's another page. I forgot about that. Okay, loving too much can turn into hating too much. You gotta balance the scales. And under that, love too much, hate too much, 12-12 can also turn it from there. It goes from manipulation to control. And then from there, it goes from arguing to violence. So it's really just about balancing the scales. Because you can do it without violence. You can. You only lose time. You only don't have time if you lose patience or you're not getting supported in other parts of whatever, which is like the whole fucking point, right? Like, if working to earn money to take care of yourself is taking up all of your time, you're not, like, you can love your job and you can love this and you can love that, but are you showing up for the people who you love the most? For the, like, you really got to take that into consideration. And it's not a competition. It's not a competition because everybody deserves to be happy. So you start there. You start at, it's not a competition because everyone deserves to be happy. From there, you move on to setting boundaries with follow through on both sides can result in long-term stability. Because stability doesn't mean always having. 1344. Stability means that whatever is going on, you can settle yourself down. Even in the times you don't feel settled, you can move accordingly, appropriately. That you can trust in yourself or whatever, whoever. That is true stability. It's not that things don't crumble. It's not that there's no danger. That doesn't make any fucking sense. That's not real. You know what I mean? And then that stability turns into safety. So if the working environment, like the workforces, whatever, okay, whatever the fuck, if they are disrupting stability emotionally in order to make sales and provide financially, that stability is unstable. But if you can stabilize the stability or 1455. Is this making sense? If if you can stabilize the stability, it turns into safety. That made sense?
I don't know.
You know what? It's fine. It's fine. 'Cause I said, to 50 in-depth repeated explanations will not do the same damage as 50 'cause I saids and one in-depth explanation. So in between there, you could even have 25 and 25. I'm just saying, this is difficult for everyone. So how can we make it easier for each other in our own way without exclusion or abandonment? And I'm not going to answer those questions today. They're just thinkers. But I do want to pull a card on the stability turning into safety. Okay, it's giving me the stomp out card, and I guess so. Yeah, the stability turning into safety thing does make sense, because one of the things that I am unraveling from is that to call out and stand your ground and like shake things up would, like, to be angry or to have or be sad or whatever can be like, oh, you're unstable. So the emotional stability that you're finding within yourself, the fires you're able to put out and ignite within yourself, are leading to extreme, is what I'm feeling, extreme senses of safety. Because you may have been kind of tossed around a bit to where you felt like nobody cared. And if nobody cares and you can talk and explain and articulate and be as fucking intelligent as you want, but if they don't give a fuck about you and there's enough of, if there's enough fucking people, like, you're not safe. But this way, we're learning to create safe spaces, not just for ourselves, but for everyone involved, dialing the skill back from violence to arguing, to control, to manipulation, to hating too much and loving too much, and finding the little sliding scale balances in there. Sorry. Just because, oh, I can say it nicer. We're gonna practice. We're gonna end this video with a fucking example. 1848. Just because when you were little,
Oh, do go on.
just because when you were little, your spiritual abilities, your childlike behaviors, your curiosity was labeled as whatever the fuck it was labeled as, 1922. Doesn't mean you go do that for other children. You take the time, you sit down, you figure out what your dreams mean, you help them interpret theirs, you explain it to them. You give them the good sides of things that... Just because you're still building... just because you're still building their, like, a better future for them, doesn't mean that you have to fucking spook them too much or crack them down to the point where they gotta learn how to survive in the world you lived in. That's why you're doing the work that you're doing now. So you can ease up. Like, it's not like that crunch period was crazy, but you can ease up a little bit. And just because someone's having fun or being 2020, being curious or whatever, it doesn't mean they're not taking you seriously. They might just be transmuting the energy for you, balancing scales, whatever it is. But this will allow for more of that spiritual energy, that lighthearted, deep-rooted love to come in. And like bless your world, I guess. I'm really not sure how else to put it. Okay, it's like not being overly dependent, or like I don't know, something that I've heard growing up is like, well, like you don't ever want to like rely on 2112. Like, you don't ever want to rely, like, it's okay to rely on people. It's okay to like relieve each other's anxiety by showing up, or even with words. But if you're gonna say the words, make sure you mean them. Make sure you can show up. That might also be something you're learning and balancing. Like, you are setting the example for yourself. The snake in the ring. It's like that county fair ride. Except if it like were to detach and just kind of fly off into the space like Team Rocket or something. She's blasting off again. 22. Holy fuck. Okay, you know what? That must... Final card, Tsunami. A little comical because the roads are flooding right now. Okay. Bye.